Alright, today we're going to be doing the Liquid Moly Stage 1. Well, I guess it's more FCP Euros Stage 1, but it seems to be Liquid Moly's whole kit. Step 1, Stage 1, whatever you want to call it. I know there's a Step 2 after this, but the last time I did my change, I didn't do the flush because I was so excited to get it all ready. So this gives me a chance to go ahead and do the Step 1 properly and record the whole thing. So we have a tutorial for everybody to do. Nice and white. Oops. Shit. This stuff smells as bad as it looks. Torque it. Torque. Backstory to this, Audi is charging between $200 and $300 for this car now. You can't extract it out the top like you normally would in some of the newer model vehicles because the dipstick tube is just a plug. So there is no dipstick tube to pull it out of, and you can't just go through the cap. So there is a way to pull that plug out, put a dipstick tube in, and extract from it in the future, but I don't have that. And I'm probably not gonna do that anytime soon because the digital sensor is good enough for me. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm going to list the things that you're gonna need inside of the video description. So you should see all the tools that you need. All right, so what do we have here? We have a Toyota Lexus, right? Funnel fill. So the ironic part is they all fit the same thing right there. So this clicks into the top of your oil fill tube and will prevent you from having anything leaking out. This, on the other hand, is a really cool invention. It is just a little silicone panel and it bends, right? But it keeps its shape. So if you want to have something draining out but not touching your suspension or anything, you use this and kind of shape it like you want. So in this case, you can see it's already got a bit of a spot there, right? And now you have something to keep the oil from draining onto your suspension or your subframe in this case. Always clean these with brake cleaner before you attempt to use them because you do not want contaminants going inside of your car. So same thing with the funnel, clean it before you use it and put something in it when you're done to prevent contaminants going back in there. Okay, so this should be all the supplies that you need. Obviously you need an oil pan, something to catch. This one you can buy online for pretty cheap from Amazon. A spill pad, splatter pad. So this, when the oil hits, it keeps it from splattering all over the place and just drains nice and smooth. You can also use carbon filters for home purifiers, whatever, same stuff. We have a ratchet, just because I prefer to use this, I'll use this one. Any 3/8 ratchet will work. You need an extension. You need a good light because you have to be able to see. You need one of these if you're really wanting to keep it clean. One of these I highly recommend. Your Torx sockets, triple square sockets here, and then 3/8 torque wrench so that you can torque to spec, and brake cleaner because always need brake cleaner. For me, I have oil temperature up here, and so it's at 141, which is good enough to register, so kind of warmed up. When everything's nice and loose, the chemicals do what they're supposed to do. It's got to be warm though, so if it's not warm, you're not doing any good. Take your handy dandy little funnel. Alright. Allow the engine to idle for 10 to 15 minutes depending on the degree of contamination, then change the oil and filter. Because the shipment from FCP Euro came in all crooked. Wow, that is very thin fluid. I don't know why I was expecting some kind of sludgy type material. I feel like I'm putting water into my motor. It's a very odd feeling. About 85% of this. Hopefully you burned off enough oil to allow that. And we're gonna go ahead and start the car. So if you have the stock bolts, or the stock screws, I guess. They should be the quarter turn, and they should be T25s. Whenever I got my car, they were Phillips heads, and so I went ahead and swapped them back to stock because I prefer the torque. So you have 1, 2, 3 in the front you have to undo, which is just a quick this way. So you have, there's 2 more there, and then there's 2 more here. Hopefully you can. All right, so now we got to take off these. So these are the triple squares that you're going to need, which is an M8. Before you do that, go ahead and take off these 3 T30s here. Go ahead and do the triple squares now. But I'm not going to let it drop all the way. I don't want to get hit in the head. A few more over here. Just going to do this one first. Aha! See, that's why we left that one on. Now we come back over here. That in there. Hold it. Let it go. Now, slide it back to the back of the car. Let it fall. Pull it out to the side. That is your drain bolt right there. Let's go ahead and get it drained. So this is actually an Allen head bolt that you're going to need. It is not a Torx, so I need to add that to the list. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's hot. Shit. So that is a 6mm. I'll take this out now. 1, 2. Oh yeah. All right. So now that's done and drained, we're gonna go ahead and put this here just to prevent anything from splashing. So you're going to take your 32mm socket. All right. Now we're gonna make sure it's loosening. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, boys and girls. The splash guard. So I'm going to take my ratchet off now because I'm not stupid. This is hot. And we're going to slowly burn ourselves with oil. Like that. Haha! So you can see this is what the oil filter comes out like. You got an O-ring. As you can tell, mine has some gunk on it. Just from running the stuff through the system, I'm sure. So we're going to take it out. Easy taking this thing out because you have plastic pieces at the bottom. So this is after 5,000 miles. And of course I'm doing a flush right now, but you see, I mean, that's considerably full right now. This is the reason why you don't do 10,000 miles. I mean, I'm pretty hard on my car, but just no, right? Like 5,000. Unless you really hate your car and are trying to squeeze every dollar out of it, go 10. But like, this is the reason why all the performance people do 5. So I have a new housing. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the new housing, get it all ready. And I'm gonna take this bolt back out just to let everything drip out as the last bit. So in just a second. You never know how much is left in there. Let it settle for a bit. Excuse the language. This is the new housing. Now you can understand why a big metal housing like this is going to last a lot longer than that one. And just to show it to you, so see if I can let you see here. Look inside of there. How many clips do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, and 8 are missing. Where they are, no one knows. So this is the reason why you want to upgrade to the metal housing. It's a couple $100. It seems like a big investment, but like, how expensive is your motor? So it seems like a no-brainer to me. This is the new filter for reference. See how this is all nice and yellow? That's glue, essentially, to hold those filters, the pleats apart. So, or a rubber band, I guess. Plastic, again, this is why you want to upgrade. There you go. So it's got like a click when it seats, if you just heard. So now that it's all nice and seated, make sure you have an O-ring. So for me, I got to put one on here. You should have to replace yours on the housing as well. So you take a pick, take off the O-ring, roll the new one on, fill this up with a little bit of oil, stick it back up there, and go ahead and get ready. So this is the little gasket that you would put on at the bottom of this housing right here to replace this one. So you need to go ahead and put this back in. I'll give you the torque specifications in the description below because I do not know them off the top of my head, nor am I concerned about them right now personally because I'm installing the TGK Motorsport billet housing. So, but you do need to torque this to spec. In addition, the whole housing itself needs to be torqued to spec. Do not try to hand tighten, think you're gonna unga dunga it, any crap like that. Just don't. You need to do it to spec. Trust me on this, because if not, if it's just a little bit off, you're gonna see oil seepage, so you do not wanna see that. Okay, I've got my new housing in, as you can tell. So this little guy right here is 4 Newton meters, right? So again, torque specifications critical. This guy right here, as I read it, oh man noises, 25 Newton meters on this whole housing. Again, use your big socket, which was this one right here. So even on mine, it should still fit unless you use a different size. Look at Tyler go. Thanks, Tyler. You're gonna go ahead and use the same socket to torque it back to spec. Torque it. Torque. I don't know. All the same things, right? And this is why having the angle gear wrench. Come on, baby. There we go. So this is going to be 20 Newton meters right here on your drain plug. So again, these will be in the description. I'm just going ahead and point them out right now. So I've gone ahead and put an ECS magnetic plug in. I haven't torqued it to spec yet. I'm about to do so. You can use your standard drain plug with a copper crush washer. Always use the copper crush washer on this car, apparently. Thank you, John Henry, for that. And I'm gonna get my socket set because this is no longer. Alright, that's 20 Newton meters. 20.38. Look at that, get pretty good at this. Now the fun part. So we've got this torque to spec, we've got this torque to spec. We're gonna go ahead and take our microfiber now and just do one last rub down, because what we're gonna do is start the car once we've got oil in it and just make sure we don't have any leaks. However, you have to make sure everything's nice and clean, because if you spot a leak, you don't want to think, is this old? Is this new? I don't know. I guess I should refer to the pictures I probably didn't take at the beginning of this. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pour the first quart of oil in just to make sure the oil filter housing is torqued to spec and didn't have any leaks, because this is a new housing for me. So for you, normally you would just go ahead and start filling it up, but all right. Had a whole quart of oil go in. Everything looks safe. I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 more quarts in and check again. Basically at this point, what you can do, so this is 300 milliliters, 300, 600, so we're at 1200 milliliters. So take, so 26%. All right, so I've left 26% approximately gap here. So whenever I put these remaining 2 with all of this, this should be a perfect fill. I'm gonna stop again, so just so you're aware, it's about that right there. And there. So it looks like it is at the 1, 2, 3, third mark up. So I'm gonna check one more time on the bottom just to be on the safe, make sure I don't have any leaks. I'm gonna go ahead. I don't know if these are supposed to be shaken up or not. Pour this in now. So I'm going for the motor oil saver, which is supposed to reduce your oil, blah, blah, blah. This fills, blah, 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 up to 3 liters. Wait. Max for 5 liters. Right. 5 quarts of oil. So half of what we're doing. It makes sense as to why we have 2. My light's about to go out. So I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, that's thick and juicy there. Pop. So this one's like an orange milky color, because you know that's really what you want to see when you're pulling your oil cap up. Milky grossness. I'm not too worried about getting the rest on the side, because I am going to use the biggest container and it's going to wash all of this down. In addition, it's going to mix it all together. This stuff smells as bad as it looks. I don't know what's that. Now, I'm fairly confident in my measuring ability because I feel like that's what it was last time. Although I didn't do the engine flush, so it was a little bit less. Go away, flies. Okay, you're down here now to be my witness. And if anything's gonna go wrong, it shouldn't, but you know, it happens. So I'm gonna key on, since I have oil in the housing already, as I should, and then start it for a minute.
Still gonna let it warm up, and then we're gonna put our panels back on.
Okay, so you're gonna go to car systems. So here, you're gonna go to servicing and checks, and you're gonna go to oil level. And you're gonna verify that you are on the dot. So again, 30%, approximately a third of that bottle left or so, 25 to 30% of the bottle. Make sure that you measure properly. So it's 8 quarts plus 75% oil, 25% additives. And that's it, you're done. Bolt it all back together, which is the reverse. I'll do it here in just a second, and we'll be done. We verified that we have no leaks, so what we're gonna do now is get our screws ready, because we no longer need the panel off. It sounds like I'm out of breath. It's because I'm getting old. That's okay. I'm not old. Your mom's old. I don't know why I said that. Triple square, triple square, triple square, triple square. Half turns and you're 3 with Loctite. T25s, all that good stuff ready. Get this good boy ready right here. So the key on this is to look at your holes, right? So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You got your 1, 2 here. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is all flappity flappy. This is what happens if you don't put the front back on but leave this one. Yeah, it's not supported apparently. Didn't know that. Took it for a test drive one night. So street shield's coming one day, baby. So anyway, do I have this backwards? No, I don't have it backwards, do I? Yes, I have it backwards. It goes like this actually. See? That's the best of us. Right, just don't go all the way. Ta-da! Now it's held up. 1 bolt. Audi's pretty smart about it. Down here, do the same thing again. And now we take our ratchet or a wrench and go ahead and finish the rest of them. As soon as I find my ratchet. Now, you could torque these a spec. I would advise at least being somewhat gentle on them. Do your half turns first actually, before finishing the rest of those. Well, go ahead and get the rest of them started. Let's just do that. Let's get the rest of them started first. So just stop when you feel it start to get tight. Do not torque them super hard. It's a plastic panel. And you're done. Go take it for a test drive. Thank you for joining me on this very much fun oil change and billet housing install for TGK Motorsports. I hope this was helpful to you. It is super easy to do this oil change. Note, do not forget to take out the plugs of your oil pan. That is critical. I obviously recommend these guys right here for a reason. It's to prevent happening what I just had happen. So you make a mistake, oil is bound to leak, and so you don't want it going on your garage floor. Nor do you want to sit there and have to do what I did and stick your hand in extremely hot oil and probably give yourself cancer if you don't already have it, changing your oil. So, but anyway, I mean, in the end, I just saved, I just saved $200–300, and I did it myself. I feel much more accomplished. I know it's done right. I know everything's torqued to spec. I know that the oil is good quality oil. I know that the housing's right. Like, you just, I mean, what more could you ask for, right? So thanks for watching this. Like and subscribe. I love comments, even if they're negative, so you're not gonna bother me. Thanks, everybody.